Good evening, everybody. We are now live from Indiana, officially recording.
Well, welcome everybody. Welcome to night number 3 of Fall Education Week 2021. It is my honor to be able to first thank everybody who's putting these on. Kathy Cunningham, Mark Walton, Rickia Bacon, and of course tonight, Patty Prick Frankie. We are so excited to be able to have you all here with us one night again this week. We're so happy that you've come back for a third night. A couple of pieces of housekeeping before we get started here, and I turn it over to Kathy. So first of all, this does count towards club officer training. If you've not done so already, please make sure that you put your name, your club name, and the role and or roles that you hold. Enter that into the chat feature. We'll save the chat feature, and Mark Mandel will be giving credit to everybody who is here tonight for club officer training. So please make sure you do that. Secondly, and probably even more importantly, we do record all of these and we will be posting them to our YouTube page. We have a private YouTube page for the district we've been using for the past few years. If you don't want to be recorded, if you do not want to put your image out there, then please feel free to turn off your camera. But if you are okay with having your image recorded, I guarantee that Patty would love to be able to see some faces and some smiles and some interactions instead of just a bunch of black screens with names across them or still pictures. So if you're okay with having your image recorded, please leave your cameras on. It makes for a much better presentation, a much more engaging presentation. But it is now my honor to welcome to our virtual lectern, the hostess with the mostest for the night, our very own Kathy Cunningham. Please give it up for Kathy Cunningham.
Good evening, everybody. Mr. Mark Mandel, our program quality director, was unable to moderate this evening, so I needed to step in and step up to the plate. So welcome everybody to our Fall Education Week. This is session 3 and I am the moderator for the evening. But I want to also share with you the rest of the week's events before we get going. We had a wonderful Zoom class last night, and to build on that, we are going to have a Zoom 201 tomorrow night, same time, same bat channel. You notice it says 8 p.m. and if you weren't here when I was announcing this earlier, on the website it says 7:30, so you can log in as early as 7:30. We have between 7:30 and 8 a time to just get to know each other, do a little socializing, but also gives time for the presenters to get prepared and for us to just get really ready to go, work out all the kinks before we get started at 8 o'clock sharp. So tomorrow night is Zoom 201. Friday night, please try to make a point to see lightning in a bottle, find electric moments in your speech. It's going to be a great speech, great session. And then Super Saturday. It's going to be loaded with learning, laughs, and lots of fun. Starting around 9:30. That's also our time to get started socializing. So you are welcome to join us at 9:30 Saturday morning. It will go full of sessions until 3:30 that day. Our speaker for tonight is, everybody say this with me, Patty Prick Frankie is her last name. I know that looks a little tricky, but I think she said that was a German name. So it's Prick Frankie. Hopefully I'm saying that. I don't have that German, thick accent, Prick Frankie, but hopefully I got close enough. Patty is a multi-passionate entrepreneur, sometimes called a multi-potentialite, and our current District 11 PR manager. In her real life, she currently provides marketing communication services with Bright Buzz Marketing as VP Marketing Strategy and Innovation and Leadership, job interview, mindset, and goal accountability coaching through Habit Masters. As a professional communicator, she's always on the lookout for technology that can help you stand out. In this session, Patty is going to demonstrate the power of free software. Free, I said free software, OBS Studio. And she will show you how to get started to stand out from the crowd in your online presentations. Please give her a round of warm Toastmaster virtual applause for Patty McFranca.
Thank you, everybody. I'm going to switch my screen now. Here's what you can see in a regular Zoom meeting. You can put some kind of fancy background behind you so you don't have to share the clutter in your house with everyone, or your cats coming by unless they climb on your head or something like that. You make things really fun. And you can do the same thing with OBS Studio. Right now, I am broadcasting from OBS Studio, and it looks just like that. But when we get to presentations, can OBS Studio do this? I don't think so. What I have with you right now is an interactive slide. And if you haven't already, go ahead and put your phone on this QR code, and then you can enter what word comes to mind when you think of a Zoom PowerPoint presentation. We'll just take a minute. If you scan that QR code or go to the website www.menti.com and put in that number, you can add some things. And let's just add 2 words, and then we'll see how it changes. Oh, boring is still the biggest word I see up there. Well, that all presentations are boring, of course. It depends on what's in the PowerPoint. But when you have a PowerPoint only, you lose the visibility of the person who's speaking. You can always do this when you share your screen in Zoom. You could even do this when you share your screen in Zoom, if you share your PowerPoint behind you. But can you do this? Or could you do this? This is the way you can up your fun factor with your presentations and also make them be more interactive. You can also make it look a little more professional. You could also add text down here in this area below that will say, call me, or here's my company, or whatever. And that would stay on the screen as your slide presentation would go forward. So these are just some of the things that you can do with the power of OBS Studio. Here's another one for Toastmaster meetings specifically. I like to have the flag out there so we can do the Pledge of Allegiance. And I have my own custom timer. Green, hey, you're safe. Yellow, okay. Red, guess what? Time to finish. And then stop. And now that I'm on the screen with my colors, I could be saying stop, stop, stop. I'm the one who needs that. That's why I made it. But what I want to do is share with you how easy it is to use this software. And it really is easy. Even I could do it. So if I can do it, most people could do it. First of all, as Kathy said, it is absolutely free. This is a free source software system where people, go in together, the code crazies go in and help and update this. OBS Studio has been around for a couple of years. It's been around for a while, and it's used primarily by the gamers. People who do gaming, and they stream themselves playing their games and they get all these different things pulled from different points, pointing onto their screen that you can watch. So what I'm going to do now is share my screen. Wow, doesn't that look crazy? Because what you're seeing is my screen on my screen on my screen on my screen. But what I'm going to do now, is I'm actually going to take myself out of the picture so that you're not seeing screen over screen over screen. And I am going to do it the old-fashioned way, where I share my screen on Zoom. Okay. Now I'm still there, but can you see? Can you see all my controls? Okay. So when you open up OBS Studio, this area down here will be blank. And I'm going to make a new scene and call it study. So now you see that down here, this is the scene area and it's empty. And we're going to make a new scene. So we're going to press the plus button and we're going to call this partial. Click OK and you're done. Then the next thing you do is you go to the sources area. And when you click on the plus button, you will see this whole group of choices of what you can put in there. So the first thing I like to do is take my video capture device. And when you first start, it will say create new. So you'll say yes, okay. And now you get to choose what it is. In the device area, right here, there's arrows. You can see I have a few camera sources to my computer. So I'm going to click not the one that lets you look at my nostril, but the one that gives me a better view. Look at that. Isn't that a better view? So I'm going to say okay. So now I'm on the screen and I can put me anywhere I want. I can make myself bigger. I can press Alt and then grab the corner here and make it smaller. Alt over here, make it smaller, Alt over here. Now we have just my head. If I change this, it will make it bigger or smaller. So you have so many different options for how you make yourself. Now, if you want to do green screen, which is I have my green screen set up, then you come over here and do properties. No, you first have to add, sorry, out of there. You have to go to filters and you click on filter and you add a filter, and we're going to do color key. Okay, And now we have the color key is green, and we flip on here and the similarity, and see now as my background goes away, that's how I get myself in green screen. Okay. So now look at me. The green is gone and it's just me. So I can keep this, and again, I'm going to put myself over here in the corner. Now, let's do something more interesting. What should we do? Should we add a PowerPoint? So this is what we're talking about in the beginning. If we're going to add our PowerPoint, what we want to do is do a display capture. No, a window capture. So we're going to create a new one. And in this area, it says window. And it shows what you have open. So I'm going to do this PowerPoint slideshow. There it is. Now I have the PowerPoint slideshow. And again, I can take this and move it around. I can expand the area or make it smaller and only show part of it, or show all of it. Next thing I'm going to do is add a color source, a new color source. Click OK. And now I can select the color. What color should I use? I'm going to go non-Toastmaster traditional and pick pink. OK. Click OK. And now I have a pink color. But I could move it around any way I want. I could put it over here. I can make it half screen. I can do anything. And now you see I'm in front. I mean, I'm behind this color, right? But the way I put myself back up is I move in this source area. I take my picture and move it up to the top. And now I'm in the front as well. So I think I should make this big, move, and then move it over and put it behind my window capture. And it's really that simple. So now I have an interesting color and an interesting background. You can see me all over the screen, and I can run my presentation. If you run PowerPoint this way, you have to have PowerPoint in a position where you can actually run it. And so you'll have to click on the PowerPoint itself so that you can keep it running. There's another way to do this though, and that is to have images, to take your PowerPoint and save them as JPEGs, images. And then you can upload those images by doing image slideshow right here. So I'm going to now make an image slideshow and say, click OK, create a new one. So now, when you do this, this is really the optimal way to do a presentation on OBS. And you make this slide mode and you want to click that to manual, because if you don't, the slides will automatically advance. And you can use that if we want to do one of those things that Scott told us about, where the slides advance and you have to talk with them and you can't change the timing of them. And then what you're going to do is down here, you're going to upload the files. So you can either upload them all in one folder, or you can upload them individually. So I'm going to click the plus button and I'm going to add files. I'm going to look on my desktop. I'm going to look here. Oh, look at those files. So here's one. I want to add that. I want to add this one. Not all those. Control this one. And open. And there they are. And click OK. So now I have these files that are already there. The next step that you want to do is go up to File and to Settings. And then you're going to set specific hotkeys so that on that presentation, that image slideshow, you can press a key for open, which I did the number 0, a 1 for the next slide. I press the right arrow, 1 for the previous slide. I press the left arrow and OK. So those hotkeys are going to work just on this presentation, because for each thing you have in the sources, those hotkeys are designated specifically for those. So you want to make sure that you go to the right one. One other thing I want to mention that's really, really important when you do a video, a capture of the PowerPoint itself. And that is to go into your PowerPoint and click on, I'm going to put PowerPoint back up here for a second. And I'm going to go out of the slideshow. And when you have the PowerPoint, and this is helpful for Zoom presentations as well. When you open up PowerPoint for a slideshow and you say, go to the slideshow, most of the time, the way it's set on default is to open up in presenter view. So you have full screen and then you have a screen with the slides on the side. But if you go up here to slideshow and you click on set up slideshow, it will be set up regularly with presented by a speaker, full screen. But what you want to do is click right below that, browse by an individual window. So that goes to a specific window, and then you can see everything that you need to see on your screen, whether it be your Zoom or your OBS Studio, because it will only stay within the window. So see, now it stays within that window, and I can resize this window and it's still going to show up on OBS Studio and your Zoom. So that is a very, very key and very, very helpful tip for when you're presenting in PowerPoint. There's other things you can do here. And you can add, let's go back to a window capture. And I'm going to open up okay, I'm going to add, and then I'm going to look in here and see, oh, look at that, Toastmasters International. Now I'm presenting Toastmasters International, and it is, there I am, right in front of a web page. So this is a great way to help people go through, well, let's see. Let me log in for all you new members. When you first become a new member, you can log in. Yes, it does take a while. And then go to Pathways. Choose the path. Isn't this great? And when you're sharing your screen on Zoom, oftentimes you can't see the whole thing. So this is a good way to teach Zoom as well, where you can see all the bottom controls. So you can also put in videos. There, the opportunities are endless. You can do individual pictures. So and try to get my, oh, it's on the wrong one, that's why. So basically you have display capture, you have window capture, you have a video capture device. You can add a second one or a third one. You can add videos in here. So you have a video running on a video. Single images, game capture. This is, you know, where this is really, really big. The color source, the browser source, and you can also do audio and input and output with this. When you are using this in Zoom, what you have to do is you see the controls on this side. You have to click on Start Virtual Camera. And then when you go to your Zoom controls, you use your video source and settings becomes OBS virtual camera. Instead of using, you know, your regular camera settings. When you do that, then you will be showing your Zoom. It will be coming from the OBS. Now, the other benefit of using this software is that you can stream it directly into a Facebook Live or other kinds of streaming modalities. So we actually streamed our meeting from OBS Studio through Zoom onto Facebook Live, just for the fun of it. And we could start doing that, Scott, maybe with our district meetings. It's definitely an opportunity, and you can record through this as well. So if I have our Zoom meeting showing on here, which I can do, then I can record it myself, even if the person that's the host of the Zoom didn't give me permission to record it. So shh, don't tell anybody. So I'm going to, these are the basics with OBS Studio. Can I see a show of hands of how many people think this is really hard? Okay, I'm a bad teacher then. If anybody raised their hand. This is actually really simple to use. And I would just strongly encourage you to download it and play with it and see if you're not convinced that it's a great tool to have in your arsenal. And that's really all I have. Is there any questions?
I have a question, Patty. So how you have to download it to your computer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And does it affect anything, or does it does it take up a lot of space on your computer? How does it affect that?
I haven't seen any negative effects to anything. Not for camera speed, not for, you know, anything. It's a good question.
I have a question. Are there any help menus where you can go to and it kind of takes you through step by step on how it works?
There is a help menu, and there's a help portal, and there's a website. So I'm going to capture. I'm going to add this. So this is the website, OBS Studio website. And you see that it works for Windows and for Mac and even with the Linux system. And it shows you right there. Premier sponsor is Twitch. That's a big gaming community. YouTube and Facebook. You can stream this to YouTube. It has the features. You can create professional productions. And, you know, this is, you download, help, and there's also a forum. So it's a widely used software system.
How did you learn all of this? Oh, Joe has a question too.
Okay, go ahead, Joe.
Yes, Patty, is there a cost associated with this, or is this a free download that's out on the internet?
It is absolutely free. OBS stands for Open Broadcaster Software.
Thank you.
So it's a completely open system. You don't have to do a time trial and then pay. You don't have limited functionality. It is completely and totally free.
Are there ads?
No, there's no ads.
I guess I would be a little leery of downloading something with, you know, there's always a risk when you download of accidentally downloading any kind of malware or
Right.
viruses. Have you had, you said you've not had that though on when you've experienced that?
Yeah, I would never download it from another source. So there are some, like if you type in OBS Studio, it's possible that there are some other places that would say, hey, download this here from our website. I wouldn't do that. I would just go straight to the OBS Studio website and download it from there.
And my question was, how did you learn to do all of this? Was this just trial and error, or did you go to a tutorial?
So actually, I learned the basics from a Toastmaster in the Global Online Advanced Toastmaster group. His name is Kit. He's from England. And every meeting he does a educational presentation, and he told me the very basics. And after that, I went in and, like I do with everything, is I Google how to and look at a YouTube video to get more tips and tricks. So, and if you do want to Google OBS Studio online or to get YouTube videos for training, you need to be very specific about what you need to do, because there are so many online videos of how to use OBS Studio that you may not find the one thing that you really are interested in doing. But if you just type in how to add a web page, or how to add text, or how to add a picture, then you will find a very quick, very succinct video in YouTube to teach you how to do it. There are thousands and thousands of videos. Joseph.
Yes, Patty, have you ever heard of vMix?
vMix.
Yes. This, much of this, what you're talking about under OBS,
Uh-huh.
it is similar to a program called vMix, where we use it at church, where we tie in our camera and add all of the all the optics like you adding to broadcast sermons over YouTube. So this is similar. So I'm familiar with vMix, and a lot of what you showed tonight is similar to that.
And is vMix a paid program?
It is. That's paid. Oh yeah, that's paid. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's fascinating that you're paying money for something that you can essentially do for free.
Yeah, but we had to have vMix with the particular camera system. We can't. You have to have that with that camera system in order for it to function.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Interesting. Does anybody else have any questions?
I just think this is fascinating. I feel like there's a lot of things that, in my experience, I know the basics, such as Excel spreadsheets, and I don't know what I don't know until somebody shows something like this, and then all of a sudden it's like, we can do so much with this. The possibilities are endless. Does anybody, after watching this, have any ideas that they're going to be trying this with? I'd like to know if there's anybody in the audience that have been inspired.
Well,
I personally,
We
Go
have two
ahead.
Josephs. Joe Johansson.
Yeah, I've always talked about putting up a very short video onto LinkedIn. I've used LinkedIn quite a lot, and it would be very easy to have just a 1 minute or even less than that, just a short blurb about why a professional person should aspire to go to Toastmasters. And I've tried to do some, and they haven't really turned out very well because I haven't been able to use a green screen and all this kind of stuff. But they have to be short and to the point. People's attention span is very, very short, and anything that's more than 1 minute long, and you lose people. But that's one way to do it.
Yeah, the other benefit of doing something like this is that I can look at myself,
yes.
how I'm looking when I'm talking to you, and my eye contact still looks like I'm talking to you when I'm looking at my screen, when I'm looking at my presentation. My eyes aren't moving, so this really helps with the eye contact and knowing what you're talking about. If you're using the crux of the PowerPoint to keep you on track.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I have my slides for tonight over here, and my eyes have to go over here to see what I'm presenting. And I thought, oh, if I could just do this, maybe even while you're speaking, but it's too much to do all at the same time. But definitely going to try this because I could have my presentation right here.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I do notice is the gallery is cutting you off a little bit. You might not notice that from there. I have to move my gallery of all of our Zoom audience somewhere else so that it's not covering your face right now. I don't know how to exactly. Miss Rakia is a Zoom master extraordinaire. Maybe she could share with us how to do that, other than just minimizing it.
What are you're saying? Her screen is, I took her off of Spotlight, so you can change your view however you want. You can do speaker or gallery view. And speaker will highlight only who's talking, and gallery will show everybody. She looks fine on my screen.
Same here.
Now she's just a little square in the gallery. If I
Right.
had her on speaker view,
You can't see my wrinkles this way.
now I see she's on speaker and she's like the big screen, but my little bookmark size gallery has gone down to, just on top of each other in a strip. And that strip is to the right of my screen, which kind of covers her a little bit. And I don't know where to hide or how to hide the audience. I did
You
have a time where at one point during her speech where the audience was completely hidden. But I don't know.
Above your gallery box, you can change how how the gallery is. You can put your people on top, or you can put them on the side. There's like a minimize and 3 other different buttons that you can change how the gallery is.
For me, there wouldn't have been any place. It would have covered her presentation because it took up the whole window.
Well, I don't want to step into Patty's stroke, so we can address this at another time.
Yeah. Maybe she knows of that.
Mhm.
There is one more thing that I can show you that is cool in here as well, and that is studio mode. And studio mode is, are you able to, I don't think you're able to see it. No, you're not, because I need to go back to,
You're not sharing. There you go.
yeah, I need to go back here.
While she's doing that, Rikia and everybody, I did click on that very left minimize button, and it does minimize everybody down to just a little square, little rectangle. So at least that is almost completely hidden, so I can see all of her presentation.
Oh, I stopped sharing my camera. Well, I can't do it right in this in a millisecond. My brain isn't quick enough. But there's a feature on here also that is called studio mode, and that is where you can be setting up the next thing that your audience is going to see while they're seeing something different, and then transition it over. So if so if I wanted to go back to a full screen, I could do that. Or go back to a PowerPoint only. I could be setting it up while I'm still showing something else. And that's called studio mode. But that's all I have for you this evening. Sorry, I didn't take up a whole hour.
Oh, that's okay. You got close. That was fascinating. And like I said, this has really inspired me to get creative with my presentations. Rikia, if I could have her off a spotlight so that I can share my screen now.
Now, I taught everybody that was at the Zoom last night, she is no longer on Spotlight. If she is the main one on your screen, you need to change your view to gallery view so that you can see everybody.
You're right, I had it on speaker. It's so tricky. It just does take a lot of practice.
I think the thing that throws you is that while you're looking, something happens and you feel like you have no control. You can hit those views at any time to see what's going to happen on your screen and adjust things accordingly.
There's a lot of comments in chat about how they are planning on taking a look to see what all they can do with it too. So you have been very inspiring, Patty. And on behalf of District 11, I'd like to present our certification of appreciation. Everybody give it up for Patty. Warm applause. Thank you, Patty. One last reminder, I did not mention this earlier, so I do want to say today, for tomorrow's meeting, we do have a little bit of an exception to the schedule. I did say 7:30 was kind of a startup social prepare time, but Lori, who is going to be presenting Zoom 201 tomorrow night, has something special in store for us at 7:30. She's getting on even earlier to prepare, and she's going to be ready to go at 7:30 with some kind of fun activity for everybody. So you don't want to miss it. Please come back and see us tomorrow night at 7:30. Thank you all for coming tonight. It's been great. Thank you again, Patty. Y'all enjoy Fall Education Week here and come back tomorrow night to see us. Have a great night, everyone.
Kathy, where are you?
Well, I'm here.
Hey, can we try
I
to
just
play a
didn't
game?
stop share.
There we go.
Have you seen this in the app section? There's you can download I have a game app called Gaggle Party.
Gaggle party?
Says waiting for host to select a game.
Oh, okay. I don't see where to go to select that.
I don't either. Okay.
Oh, now I see view. Okay,
Kathy, you might want to stop recording.
thank you.
Does anybody